Ladies and gentlemen, in the recent patch, Deadlock added 3 secret items in the game files that you can spawn in the console when you're in sandbox. Now, these items are probably going to be added to the game at some point, but I wanted to give you guys a first look at these items so we can theorize around what heroes they're good for and if they need nerfing or not. So, I'm sure you're wondering, how can I test these items myself? Here are the commands. So by pressing F7, opening up your console, you can type in these 3. It's either give item, space, upgrade underscore ultimate underscore burst, give item, upgrade underscore corpse underscore explosion, or give item, upgrade underscore spirit underscore burn. So now I know you're all curious, what do these items do? So let's start with the one I'm the most excited about, which is lightning scroll. I wonder if it's a typo and it's supposed to be lightning scroll because it does have like a lightning strike on you. So I'm gonna assume that that's a bug. So this item gives you ability range, imbues your ultimate with permanent spirit power. After dealing damage with your ultimate, the target takes bonus spirit damage and is stunned. Now, this item seems incredibly strong. It's a 6k item, as you can see here, because it takes, you get 3k souls to sell it. So, of course, it's more of an endgame item, but this could potentially unlock a lot of new builds. So, one build that was very popular about 6 months ago was the ult or beam bop. So you would have the hyper beam build where the duration would scale with spirit. And then they removed the duration scaling and people kind of stopped playing that build, and it's kind of hard to catch people with it too. But if you have an item of lightning scroll, not only does it do max health damage, but it's the fact that it stuns them for 1 second, meaning that you can do so much more damage with the beam. So essentially, if I am popping my ult on this guy, I can show you what I mean. So he's running back and forth and he's hard to hit. Pop my ult, boom, lightning strike, and he almost instantly takes 1,000 damage. Because of that. I think this item could also be really good on a hero like Haze, because if you're stuck in a Haze ult for 1 second, that's a lot of damage. Pocket ult. I'm a very, very big enjoyer of Diviner's Kevlar, and I feel like a lot of builds could go really well with both Lightning Scroll and Diviner's Kevlar. You could rush these 2 items without buying too many defensive items, because the Kevlar kind of takes care of the defensive part, and you would still get like 80, 90 spirit power or almost 100 spirit power, including the passive spirit power from those 2 items. It could also be really good on 7. Let's do an example here. So let's spawn 4 enemies, right? With 7. And then we go into the console, we type give item, upgrade, ultimate burst. I'm not going to upgrade my storm cloud because I don't want to kill them too fast, but I want to show you. So let's say you're 7 here. And then you go up here in your ult. Did you see how they all got stunned and took an initial amount of 12% health damage? Now, the reason why this would be really good on 7 is because after you ult with 7, you have the lightning bolt, right? So whenever you ult with 7, you have this lightning bolt. And it would basically guarantee that you can hit the lightning bolt because of the 1 second stun. So let's combo it. So yeah, so that's the first item. I think a lot of heroes can be really good with this item. I have a feeling this item will be slightly changed before it makes it to the actual patch. It seems extremely strong. Of course, it's a 6k item, so you have to compare it to Diviner's Kevlar, Refresher, all these big power spike items. But I definitely think that this item could be like one of those items that you rush, like how Bomb Bebop rushes Echo Shard, and then ult builds could rush the Lightning Scroll because it would add a lot more utility to your ults. Oh my god, there's no internal cooldown on it either. So Vindicta... Oh no, wait a minute. That would be so broken with Vindicta. Where is she? All right.
Taking the shot. Their head.
That is not okay. Okay, so it's probably gonna get, I'm assuming it's either gonna get some sort of internal cooldown or that the values are gonna get changed a bit, because that seems a little bit crazy to me. Next up, we're gonna go with Spirit Burn. Spirit resist and bonus health. I think that's the same stats as escalating exposure has. Yeah, so it's currently also borrowing the icon asset for escalating exposure. So clearly this item is probably still under development. You see it's got the same stacking system as escalating exposure 2, 20 max stacks, 0.7 stacks frequency. So that's also the same as escalating. So this item is probably also still in development, but essentially it says dealing spirit damage applies a burn over 4 seconds. This effect can repeatedly stack on the same target. So here's one thing I'm very curious about, which I thought about when I saw this item. It was that I do hope that the damage over time is based on a percentage of how much damage you do. So for instance, if you hit for 1,000, then maybe the spirit burn hits for 20% of 1,000. Because if it doesn't matter how much spirit damage you do, it just means that any hero that can deal damage over time, like Infernus and Shiv and the Crow from Vindicta, would just permanently also proc spirit burn on top of it. So we can try that now if we max the Crow.
Find them.
Yeah, I don't think that's okay.
Yes, Vindicta. Pick them off one by one.
I want to compare that to the damage without any items.
This is just the beginning.
Yeah. So, to me, it seems pretty clear that this item is the most like, based on the fact that it's borrowing an icon from escalating exposure, it's got the same stack and frequency as escalating exposure. I'm gonna assume that this item is probably the most like work in progress item out of these three, and that it needs to either not be applied by damage over time effects, like for instance, let's say only instant damage, spirit damage would work on it, or it's a percentage based on how much the previous damage tick does. Because then damage over time effects wouldn't really be that efficient to proc the spirit burn, because it would be such a low increment of damage for each tick that it wouldn't be that impressive. But for those of you who play WoW or Dota, I think it's the same for both with Fire Mage and with Lina, where Ignite builds up a damage over time based on how much damage you do. I think that is a natural way of balancing it. But even then, I think Spirit Burn would be insane on someone like Geist, because then you could health swap for like 2,000 damage, and then Spirit Burn would burn a percentage of that. So I'm curious to see how this game fits, this item fits into the game as well, because it seems very strong, but I think this one is going to be the hardest one to balance. Okay, and then the final item, which is also a very interesting one, it's called Corpse Explosion, and this one also has a custom icon. Wait, isn't that the same stats as, let me see, movement speed, spirit power, health regen, and bonus health? It's Mystic Slow. Okay, so it's got the same stats as Mystic Slow. So I'm assuming that means it's gonna be a, let me try to sell it. It's a 3k item. Interesting, because these other items are both 6k, so that's also something to take into consideration. Soul Explosion kills or assists cause an explosion where the victim dies. Kills against heroes have greater radius and damage. So this seems like a farming item first and foremost, because it's stated that it's got a specific hero explosion multiplier. So I would imagine that this would go insane in the jungle if you have some sort of way of like killing one of the minions really fast. Because we have other 3k farming items like Torment Pulse, so it would be interesting to see how are they gonna balance. Also, this is hypotheticals. We don't know that these items are gonna make it to the game, but they are in the game file, so we can theorize that they're probably making it into the game at some point, because why were they added in the first place if they didn't? But yeah, it would be interesting to see how this item would be balanced for farming speed up against Torment Pulse. One specific usage I was thinking about with Soul Explosion as well was Dynamo Ult, because I wonder if this could cause a chain explosion. Do you know what I mean? So that's something I wanted to try. So here's the question. Does it chain proc? So like if I Soul Explosion this guy, does that Soul Explosion this guy and this guy? So let's see what happens.
Now is your chance.
Oh my god. Wait, that is so cool. Does it work on McGinnis turrets? Yeah, because like it doesn't say spirit damage or bullet damage. It literally just says kills or assists. To me, that means that like even if I shoot this guy once and someone else kills him, as long as I get the assist for the kill, this explosion is supposed to go off. Dude. Yeah. Oh my god, Lash ult too. Bro, one thing I've noticed in Lash ult is that a lot of the time you kill one, but not the remaining ones.
Taking you out. The sapphire flame is down.
Let me show y'all how it's done.
This is gonna be so hilarious. And they would be stunned too, yeah. Wait, this would actually go insane on Lash. Okay, so one thing that is important to remember is that one,
All right, I'm done playing with you.
like, the only thing you basically need is that one of them dies. Because the explosions stack, right? So the way it seems to me is that as long as you kill one of them, they can set off like a chain reaction, you know? Corpse explosion. See?
Oh, they'll be crying about that one.
Oh, just wait till I get it going.
Dynamo and Lash ult is gonna go so hard with this because you kill... How's the spirit scaling actually? Okay, so it's got 143 now. Okay, so it's got around a 1x, I think, because now it's 224. And it's got a 150% multiplier. Let's see about the AoE actually for this. Let's say we have this and then Mystic Reverb. Let's see how big the explosions are.
Now is not the time for...
I don't know about you guys, but I'm not stopping anytime soon.
Dude, this is gonna be so crazy on a mid-boss fight, bro. Corpse explosion is at least kind of niche. The other two would break the game if released in the current state. Yeah, I agree with that. Well, I don't think the lighting scroll would break the game, but it would make some builds very strong. You have to remember it's a 6k item, so it's the value of an Echo Shard or a Diviner's Kevlar or something. But I definitely do agree that I think the lighting scroll would either need a shorter stun or less damage or an internal cooldown. Because the thing about some of these new items when they're being tested is like you test the potential of it. But then depending on how the item is designed, sometimes they don't take into account how strong it can be on one specific hero, right? Let's take like the damage over time example, right? For a hero like Lash, the damage over time item wouldn't really be a problem. Whenever he does burst damage, he will do some more damage over time. But for someone like Shiv, Infernus, or Vindicta, that item in its current state would be not good for the game because there's no limitation to how it's procced. But that's why, in my opinion, because this game is in early development, just throw those items in there. Let us test and make a lot of builds with them. And then we give feedback on what needs to be changed. Because we need a fairly big testing pool with a lot of different builds. To figure out how to balance those. Another thing that recently was discovered in the game files was an extra trooper. So if you type ent_create and then trooper_siege, then look, it's a siege trooper. So for those of you who play Dota and League of Legends, you know that siege troopers are definitely in the game. There are different mechanics to why they spawn and when. Some of them just spawn every other wave, and some of them spawn after doing certain objectives. So I'm curious if this trooper is making it into the game. For instance, one thought I had was that what if this trooper spawns in a lane when you kill a base guardian? Because I still feel like the base guardians do not give you enough rewards for killing them. It kind of just feels like an obstacle that most of the time just run past. So if killing the base guardians gives you a siege trooper in that lane, that would be really cool. So we'll see what they do with this. He matches the other candles too, so I'm assuming it's an up-to-date model. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to leave a comment down below what item is your favorite and what kind of build you think that item can work for. I know the videos are a bit back and forth these days, but we're kind of just like waiting for a big patch. And in the meantime, we're kind of just chilling, streaming every day. So feel free to tune into the streams if you want to, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.